In this video, I'm going to contrast the proof master to the proof sparse. So this may seem a little bit funky to people, but so the proof master, again, I've shown this in multiple different videos. Pretty straightforward. You've got hypercubes and you've got abstract concepts and it's organized, and you've got all these different networks, and this all kind of makes sense when you look at it, because people have taken the time to organize it correctly. Okay? So when you contrast that to what you see here, this starts to look really confusing from the beginning. So what's going on, this is how a lot of SEC filings are created. People represent the disclosures as if it was a dartboard, basically. So what's going on is that the models were not separated very well. So there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hypercubes. Everything is in a hypercube, and the hypercubes, some of the hypercubes make sense. Like this one makes a lot of sense. This is just a variance, and it's really kind of hard to goof this up if you follow what you're trying to represent. You could still put this with other disclosures, but what's happening here is this looks really funky because a bunch of hypercubes were combined where it makes logical sense, but it just makes it really hard to read. So this is actually logical. This is logical. It looks funky, but it is logical. So there does seem to be some bugs in the software. I'm not seeing. I should be seeing 2 periods for the assets for the balance sheet. So for example, here, the balance sheet shows 2 periods. Okay, but in here, I don't see 2 periods. I only see 1 period. I don't see it down here. So there's a bug in this application in terms of rendering. So these hypercubes look fine because I did not combine them. There's another bug. But this one, I combined a lot of the information blocks. But watch what happens when I use the block view. So assets roll up. So now I have two periods. So it's basically being able to pick through the facts and represent them better, but still it's over. It's putting in these dimensions where they're not really appropriate, although they are in the model. No, they're not in the model. So again, maybe this is a bug. Maybe you shouldn't be seeing this. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is a bug. Here in the network view, it's not a bug because you do see the segment dimension on the balance sheet. And balance sheet line items. But here you have the assets roll up, liabilities and equity roll up, comprehensive income. These are all combined together in the same hypercube, and therefore this dimension gets put on all the hypercubes, or all the facts in the hypercube, and then that's what causes this funky view of the information. But again, it is logical. You still get 19 blocks. So some of these are correct. These extra dimensions, they're still correct. There's no facts here, but because the dimensions are there, it's showing the cell. There's no guidance on how this should be rendered, whether it should be provided or not provided. It's in the model, but it's not. There's no facts provided. But it is logical. It's just harder to read. And the disclosures, it has the same issue with all these disclosures. Some of these are correct, but other ones are incorrect. But yeah, I'm going to call that good.